hit some anytime goal scorers as well as safe shots on goal for some of these goalies. Give me both teams to score in the first period. That's coming in at plus 185 compared to the over 1.5 that is at minus 120. Okay, you guys ready? Let's make some freaking money. It's time for Puck It with Jo. Good morning, everyone, and happy Wednesday. It's time for Puck It with Jo over here on SportsGrid TV on X as well as YouTube. I hope you guys have had a great start to your day and you're able to make some freaking money last night. We were able to cash on that overtime between the Washington Capitals and the Winnipeg Jets. And I tell you, if you jumped in late on Ovechkin to get that goal, as I recommended, you definitely had a good payday because he was able to score with 4 minutes left in the third period. He was right around plus 700 to plus 1,000, depending on when you got it in that third period. So absolutely making us that money that we wanted if you did follow that advice. Now, looking at today's slate, we've got 4 games out there on the ice. Highly impactful for some of these teams for playoff implications, and other teams, while they're looking to play spoiler. One team that comes to mind when I think of looking to play spoiler is the Chicago Blackhawks. But again, this team has struggled all season, so it'll be interesting to see with what they come out with in this game today after a big win in their last game out versus the Philadelphia Flyers. Looking at the Edmonton Oilers, we know they're without Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, but caution here with the Dallas Stars today, you guys, is that line really does smell. Why are they not a bigger favorite in this matchup? So let's jump into all 4 of these games. We will go via the time that they do kick off. We'll kick off with the Vancouver Canucks taking on the New York Islanders. But you guys, good morning to you. Thank you so much for being here with me on the daily. If everyone could hit that like, subscribe, and retweet button, I would so greatly appreciate it. So let's jump into the matchup here between the Vancouver Canucks and the Islanders, both fighting for a wild card spot here. It's a pick'em, minus 110. And one thing that really stands out to me is Sorokin's record versus the Vancouver Canucks. Now, both of these teams have come off shootouts in their last game. So they both have had that extra time out there on the ice, which we know can be detrimental. We've seen the Vancouver Canucks struggle when they've come off an overtime like that after the first period. The first period has been strong for them, but they've struggled down the stretch of those games. Now we got a total 5.5. 5.5 with the juice to the under at minus 140, plus 114 if you don't think this is playoff style hockey. You know, it's going to be really interesting because I don't have faith in Sorokin to keep the puck out of the net with the Vancouver Canucks, but we know this team has been anemic in some of these games offensively. So they're coming off the win over the Devils on the road, 4-3 game in a shootout. Kevin Lankigan coming in here for them in net does have strong numbers versus the Isles in his career with a .945 save percentage, a 2.06 goals against average, going 1-2 in his career versus the Islanders. And when we look at Sorokin, we're really going to dig into hhis numbers here. Sorokin 2-2-1 in 5 games in his career versus the Vancouver Canucks. Okay, so it doesn't sound too bad, but he does have a 3.81 goals against average at .890 save percentage. I do not love that save percentage. And when we break it down even further, we look at him at home versus the Canucks. And this is where it looks terrible, you guys. He has 5.13 goals against average and .851 save percentage. So while this should be playoff style hockey, while we should try to see the defense is locked down, I think this offense here, the Vancouver Canucks, is going to be able to hit Sorokin. That's what they've been able to do in the past. And so it worries me about that full game total. I do think Sorokin will be looking for a bounce back. The last game versus Vancouver, he allowed 4 shots on goal on 33 shots on his net. But I just tell you, I'm just not buying into Sorokin having a strong day. Because of that, I'm going to stay off all of the totals. I do think Vancouver has the advantage here. Again, both of these teams coming off of shootout games in their last one. We have seen the Islanders lose their last 2. Monday's lost to the Columbus Blue Jackets in that shootout situation, 4-3. So I'm going to look at Vancouver first period. Again, this is where their strength has been off an overtime game. That first period of money line coming in at minus 112 for the Vancouver Canucks. Now you could look at money line as well for the full game. But like I said, in a lot of these situations, they have fallen apart for the full game. So they've won their last 4 first periods off an overtime game, but they've lost their last 7 games on the road after coming off an overtime game. So it's like they get up and then they fall apart. Now, looking here with how impactful this is for those wild card spots, we're going to get the best out of both of these teams. We have seen Vancouver move to 5th in the Pacific, 5-4-1. In their last 10, 78 points in 71 games. Calgary has a game in hand and is 1 point ahead of them with the win last night, but the St. Louis Blues still sitting ahead of both of those teams. So really tight race here in the West for that last wild card spot. And then we do see the Islanders sitting 4th in the Metro, 1 point behind the Montreal Canadiens for that last wild card spot in the East. So battling it out. Last time these teams faced off, the Isles did get the upper hand, winning that one 5-2. I'm going to look at Vancouver, first period money line, Vancouver, Jake DeBrusk to get the point on the board. I expect him to be able to get that goal today. So let's just pull up the value on the goal for Jake DeBrusk. Now it's plus 230 here for Jake DeBrusk to step up and get us that goal tonight, and I really like it. Connor Garland, someone else you could look at plus 260. Should be a really good matchup between these two. You cashed the Flames. I love it. My Calgary Flames showing up. Didn't expect the Seattle Kraken to put up that third goal, push it to OT. Dustin Wolf absolutely stood on his head, especially in overtime, for Calgary to be able to get that win. And Nazem Kadri really firing as of late. If you missed his overtime goal as well as his goal during the regular time, check out Nazem Kadri yesterday. He was absolutely fire out there. Yeah, Rob, the Islanders cost you money in that last game. I would definitely fade them today out of spite. The damn Islanders. All right. Good morning to you as well. Yeah. And if you guys can hit that like, subscribe, and retweet button, I would so greatly appreciate it. With only 4 games on the slate, let's move on to the next one here. We have the New Jersey Devils taking on the Chicago Blackhawks. Now, current odds on this one, the New Jersey Devils are a minus 235 favorite over Chicago, and a team like Chicago with nothing to play for, eliminated from the playoffs, can be dangerous. They're coming in at plus 190 here on the money line. When we look at that puck line, plus 1.5 on the puck line for the Chicago Blackhawks is minus 130, minus 1.5 on the puck line for the New Jersey Devils here on the road at plus 106, and a total of 5.5. Interesting total here. I do think I have to take it to the over because I do believe in the Chicago Blackhawks to put up their share of the goals. So give me the over 5.5 at minus 110. We're looking at Jake Allen coming in 2 goal for the New Jersey Devils, and everyone's saying this is the biggest advantage the New Jersey Devils really do have on the ice today is the goaltending matchup. Spencer Knight, though, we've looked at Spencer Knight in some of these games out there when he was with the Florida Panthers, and he was really able to step up versus the New Jersey Devils. He was key in clutch moments out there for them. And I do think we could see Spencer Knight have a better performance than we've seen in his last couple, but I don't think it's enough for them to keep this one under that total. I do think looking at the Chicago Blackhawks, I like them on that puck line. Plus 1.5 is coming in at minus 130. The juice is starting to drop. Actually, I got it at minus 134 earlier in the day, and I was comfortable with that juice that I had to lay there. I don't love the scheduling spot for the New Jersey Devils, and I think they could underestimate what they're going to see out of Chicago. Like I said, Chicago's off that beauty of a win. It was a great one versus the Flyers on the weekend. Sunday win a 7-4. We saw this team really clicking offensively. Now, they don't care who they have on deck, but they have Vegas on deck on Friday, Utah on Sunday. But it is the Devils here. The Devils sitting 3rd in the Metro. They're 4-5-1 in their last 10 games. They've lost their last 3. They've got to get back on the winning track. Monday, they had to go all the way to a shootout with the Vancouver Canucks to lose that game. It's kind of like if you're a team, you would have rather just lost in that first part of overtime so you could get off the ice quicker and pick up your loser point that you get for going to overtime. But you look at this situation, and I'm a huge situational bettor. You guys know that this is the first road game of 3, and you look ahead at their 2 teams that they have to face, and this isn't pretty. If this game was a game where they're headed out on the road versus a really solid opponent, then I wouldn't be looking to fade them here. But you're looking at the look-ahead situation. The Winnipeg Jets on Friday, and then they have to play the Minnesota Wild on Saturday. Both of those games out there on the road. And then they have to return home on Monday to face that Minnesota Wild team again. So they've got 3 really hard games on deck. I think they just underestimate the Chicago Blackhawks here. And I absolutely think we sweat this. Like, I think this is one where we probably see the Devils go up nice and fast. And then we have the Chicago Blackhawks just fight to the very last buzzer, probably getting a goal to put it within 1 as they pull their goaltender and get a useless goal, kind of like no one would want them to score that if you're riding with the New Jersey Devils in the puck line, because it's meaningless. It's still not going to win the game, but I do think that is how they cover the puck line here. Just a meaningless goal at the end of this one, crushing anyone that's on the Devils on that puck line. Now, the last time these teams matched up, we did see the New Jersey Devils get that 4-1 win, which gives them 5 straight wins in this matchup. So they have dominated Chicago, and they've won 7 of the last 10 meetings. So they've been really strong versus this team. But again, it's that look-ahead situation where I want to look at Chicago to make a push late in this game. But I do have some players here I'm looking at for the New Jersey Devils. So if you don't want to take the Chicago Blackhawks, especially off a 7-3 shellacking of the Flyers, maybe they come out a little bit flat. But I do think a lot of these players, they're looking towards next season. Maybe some contracts need to be renewed. Also, maybe some of these players will be looking and shopping for new teams. So definitely dangerous out there to completely fade a team like this. I do think Jasper Bratt of the New Jersey Devils is worth a look today for his power play point. That's coming in at plus 185 for the power play point. And then Timo Meier has been absolute fire for the New Jersey Devils. I'm going to take him for the goal. The goal for Timo Meier coming in at plus 145. In this month alone, he's got 7 goals, 22 goals on the season, 25 assists for 47 total points. So give me a goal here for Timo Meier at plus 145. Give me the power play point for Jasper Bratt at plus 185. He's got 12 points in his last 7 games. So if you just want to take Jasper Bratt and Timo Meier, parlay them for a point, I absolutely love it. 82 points overall for Jasper Bratt on the season. So he's been firing. You got to look at Connor Bedard for a strong game today. Goal number 20 is loading for Connor Bedard. I think I would look at him either for the point. The point's coming in at minus 118, or just straight up for goal number 20. You could also look ahead for those games in the next couple for Connor Bedard. So keep in mind that he is searching for goal number 20 on the season. And then Ryan Donato here for the point. He's coming in at minus 106 for the point for Chicago. He's on that top line with Connor Bedard, and I'm expecting both of them to come out strong. We also have, Connor Bedard has that 20th goal. It's Tyler Bertuzzi that's 20th goal is loading. So Bertuzzi out there has 19 goals on the season, 21 assists, 40 points. So I like him for goal number 20. I would take Connor Bedard for the point, like I had originally said, and Donato for the point at minus 106. But I do think if you just look at Bertuzzi, Bedard, and Donato here for a point each, it's going to give you, and you're not laying that much juice. So Bedard's minus 118, Donato is minus 106, and Bertuzzi is plus 115. So I think it's a great way to go, especially with Tyler Bertuzzi loading for goal number 20 today. So that is that one, you guys. Let's get him. Let's make some freaking money. And Connor Bedard, absolutely, he wants to end this season on a high note. Chicago, absolutely looking for that, a lottery pick. That is for sure. Yeah, Calgary right now has almost a playoff spot. They're right behind the St. Louis Blues. So let's see what they're able to do. Lane Canucks money line. Yeah, and I think Canucks money line is the way to go in that matchup. I just don't trust Sorokin versus the Vancouver Canucks. So I think they have his number. They've proven it in the past. Let's look at the Dallas Stars and the Edmonton Oilers. This line stinks, you guys. It absolutely does. You're only having to lay minus 137 on the Dallas Stars. Yes, they're on the road, but look at the Stanley Cup odds right now. The Dallas Stars are the favorite at plus 550 to win the Stanley Cup. Edmonton's at plus 900, and we're getting the Dallas Stars at minus 137 on the money line, even though they're on the road, even though they're in Edmonton here. Edmonton's missing their main weapons, Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, and we're still getting a price on the money line here at plus 114 for them. I expected, and you guys, whenever I look at games, I always go into my day actually, I look the night before at the matchups, and then I'm making my own lines. I'm going, okay, where do I think this should be priced? And when I'm seeing that variance in the price, you definitely have to question why. So why isn't Dallas a minus 190 favorite here in Edmonton? They should be. This team is healthy. This team is playing elite hockey, and Edmonton is completely banged up right now. They're having their struggles. They've got their superstars off the ice. This is just not a good situation for the Edmonton Oilers. But the line can't let me bet the Dallas Stars. It seems like too good of a price. It seems like a trap. So if I miss out on the Dallas Stars at a minus 137 price, so be it. But I don't want to fall for this price and then have Edmonton come out and win. For me, if I'm taking a side, it is the Edmonton Oilers or nada in this one for a side. Jake Ottinger versus the Edmonton Oilers doesn't have great numbers. So looking at him, he's gone 4-3-1 versus the Oilers in his career. The last meeting, he allowed 5 goals on only 27 shots. And yes, we probably had both Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid on the ice, at least one of them, but these two players are healthy most of the season, so we probably have both of them out there for Edmonton. So that makes sense. We know Leon Draisaitl is driving this offense, and we've seen Connor McDavid, the superstar, out here getting his share of the goals and assists as well. And then Stuart Skinner for Edmonton. You guys know this is not a goaltender that I trust. This isn't a defense that I really trust, but I do think this defense has some sort of lockdown in this. So I'm torn on this one, you guys, because of that line. Like I said, if it was a minus 180 here for the Dallas Stars, I'd be absolutely saying Dallas gets a win. Now let's try to find a way to make some freaking money because we can't lay that kind of juice. So I feel like it's a trap. I do think both of these teams come out hot out of the gate. Edmonton's proven they can score on Jake Ottinger, and we know the issues with Stuart Skinner. Even though Edmonton's defense is going to try to lock down without their superstars on the ice, I expect the first period to go over 1.5 goals. That's coming in at minus 132. Now, they've covered the puck line as in the Edmonton Oilers, in their last 6 as a dog versus the Central. I do think it's a tight style battle out there. But you know, I can't. If I'm taking a side, it is Edmonton. But let's look at some players. I'll take the first period over 1.5. I will take, if Edmonton or Dallas goes down at first, I think we kind of play with the numbers. Stay tuned to X for live betting strategies. But I will be looking at a couple of playmakers, 1 on each side, 2 maybe for the Dallas Stars. I think Mikko Rantanen, he's got goal number 30 loading. It's coming in at plus 185 for goal number 30 for Mikko Rantanen tonight. So if he doesn't hit it here, they do have Calgary on deck for their next game. First night of a back-to-back, they will be at Calgary tomorrow, at Seattle, Saturday and Monday. They won their last 2. They were able to lock down defensively, shutting the Wild out at home 3-0 in their last game. I do think Mikko Rantanen drives this offense tonight. He gets goal number 30. That's coming in at plus 185. 29 goals, 46 assists for total 75 points. But Jason Robinson also has goal number 30 loading here at plus 210 for goal number 30 for Jason Robinson. So that's 29 goals, 39 assists for 68 points. Those would be your playmakers on the Dallas Stars that I would look at. You could also look at Wyatt Johnson. You know how much we love this kid and Rupe Hintz for them to come out strong. If you just want to look here at Mikko Rantanen, Wyatt Johnson, and Jason Robinson, what the heck, throw in Rupe Hintz for a point each. I do think we could get those points out there for the Dallas Stars. Now, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins here for the Edmonton Oilers would be who I would circle to score the goal tonight. For Edmonton, he's coming in at plus 220. He has 20 goals on the season and 48 assists for a total of 48 points. Evan Bouchard also is interesting for the assist out there, 13 goals, 42 assists, and 55 points. You're going to have playmakers really step up for Edmonton in this one. So it's going to be a great one. Good morning, Rick. I hope you're having a great night. And yeah, you know what? This could be an overtime game. Let's look at what the odds are for this one to go to overtime. If it's like plus 310 to plus 320, I do like it. Yeah, it's plus 320 for this to go to overtime. So I think it is a good bet for this to go to OT. I really do think Edmonton can push Dallas a lot more, and I think that is why we're getting such a weird freaking line in this one. I swear the books are begging us to take Dallas at this cheap price. I can't bite, you guys. It's Edmonton or nothing. Both teams to score in the first period, and those player props. LA Kings versus the Colorado Avalanche. Yeah, Jamie, that is going to be a great game. We'll get back to that game. Jamie, can you remind me by the end of the show? We'll break down the rest of the games for today. We've only got one left. Then we will do the recap, and then we'll quickly look at the LA Kings versus the Colorado Avalanche tomorrow. So, and I definitely think you sprinkle that OT between Dallas and Edmonton at plus 320. We're able to get the overtime bet between the Caps and the Capitals and the Jets yesterday. So what the heck? Let's go with the Dallas Stars and the Edmonton Oilers. I want to be shocked, though, if Chicago pushes the Devils into an overtime game as well. Let's look at the last game. The Boston Bruins taking on the Anaheim Ducks. The Bruins have fallen flat on their face, losing their last 6. Now they roll in to Anaheim as the dog, and I think a lot of us at the start of the season would have thought they would have rolled in as the favorite. They're coming in at plus 104 on that money line, minus 125 for the Anaheim Ducks, and a total of 5.5. Now, this 5.5 has a juice to the over at minus 128. These teams have been pretty anemic with their scoring, but looking at this matchup, you got to think someone's going to get those goals on the board with how these defenses play. Now, I lean towards the Boston Bruins being able to convert on the power play. Their power play is not great at 14.6%, but when we look at the Anaheim Ducks and how weak their kill is at 72.5, you've got to think we're going to see Boston step up if this team does get scrappy, or these teams get scrappy. So Swayman versus Dostal is your goaltending matchup. We are seeing the Anaheim Ducks off the loss to the Carolina Hurricanes in their last game out at home on Sunday, losing that one 5-2. Now there are lots of players questionable for the Ducks. We are seeing the Bruins as a healthier team. Troy Terry, though, should be hitting the ice for the Anaheim Ducks tonight, and goal number 20 is loading for him. So I'll take Troy Terry for the anytime goal at plus 285. 19 goals, 32 assists for 51 points for him. We know McTavish has been playing strong, 18 goals, 25 assists for 43 points. And the Ducks have been able to nicely cover that puck line. We know they come out strong. They covered the puck line each of the last 11 games off of the loss, and that's what situation they're in this one. I think if you look at Boston with that plus money on the road, it's a way I have to go. They still have some playmakers out here. They're going to look to break this losing streak, especially after being embarrassed by the LA Kings in their last game. 7-2 loss on the road in their last one. They are at the Red Wings on Saturday. Tonight is game number 4 of 5. So the Red Wings will be that last road game before returning home to start the month of April. Yeah, it's crazy. I can't believe we're sliding into April right away, you guys. We're looking at this weekend, then Monday, and then we are in April, the final stretch of the hockey season. Man, I'm going to miss it when it's gone. But 7th in the Atlantic here for the Boston Bruins, and that last 10 is 2-7-1. So haven't been pretty. Now, the Ducks have won the last 2 meetings, but both of those have come in OT. So we haven't seen the Ducks actually win in regulation against the Bruins in the last 5 meetings. So the Ducks have won the last 2, but needed overtime to do so. That last one being a 3-2 win in February. I'm going to take the Bruins with the plus money. I'm going to also look at Casey Middlestat and Pasternak here for their points tonight. If you look at Casey Middlestat parlayed with David Pasternak for a point, that's coming in at plus 117. Pasta, I think, gets his point via goal. So if you want to take him for goal number 35 tonight, yes, goal number 35 is loading for David Pasternak. I fully believe he has every capability of hitting it. 34 goals, 50 assists for 84 points on the season. Now, Morgan Geekie has 39 points, 25 goals, and 14 assists. So you got to think goal or point number 40 is loading for him. And then Casey Middlestat, I really like what we've seen out of him. 38 points on the season. He's on that top power play with David Pasternak, so that will be why I'll be looking at him tonight. 13 goals and 25 assists. So I expect the assists out of Middlestat, the goal out of Pasta, and a point out of Geekie. Again, Middlestat and Pasta parlayed for the point at plus 117. And then you can look at Morgan Geekie for a point separately. I believe it's right around minus 106. So, and then Troy Terry for goal number 20. Those are all the games, you guys. We went through them as fast as we could. Yeah, Rick, it should be a tight game for sure. Hit 2 OTs last night. 2 anytime goals last night. Rick, I am so happy to hear that you cashed last night. That just absolutely makes my day. So let's jump into the recap, and then I promise we will look at the odds for the LA Kings versus the Colorado Avalanche, as Jamie was hoping for. So fast recap here, you guys. We've got 4 games on a deck tonight. Let's make some freaking money. The Vancouver Canucks versus the New York Islanders. I don't know where I was going with that. We're going to take the Vancouver Canucks first period money line coming in at -112. They've been strong on the first period, off an overtime game, winning their last 4 first periods off of overtime, but in their last 7 games off of overtime, they've struggled on the road. So I'll look at the first period here for the Vancouver Canucks. I'm going to look at Jake DeBrusk to come out and be able to get the goal. I think this is a tight battle, but Vancouver should be able to hit Sorokin. Sorokin has terrible numbers versus the Vancouver Canucks, and it gets worse when you isolate his numbers at home. I would look at Sorokin under his save shot on goal prop tonight. Now, we don't have that number posted as of yet, but I definitely will be writing it no matter what that number comes out to that under. The New Jersey Devils versus the Chicago Blackhawks. I'm expecting the Chicago Blackhawks to keep this tight. Give me the Blackhawks +1.5 at -134 on the money line. Now, I do think this is going to be an interesting matchup as Chicago looks to play spoiler. Connor Bedard for his point tonight, -118. Ryan Donato for his point at -106. And then Tyler Bertuzzi for goal number 20 tonight. I'll be looking at all 3 of those players to be able to get that done. And when we look at the New Jersey Devils, I got to take Timo Meier for the anytime goal at +145 and Jasper Bratt for the power play point at +185. Going to stay off that total in that game. The Dallas Stars versus the Edmonton Oilers. What the heck, you guys? Like you guys suggested, let's take this one to OT at +320. I do think this line completely stinks. I can't touch the Dallas Stars at only a -137 favorite. It seems like too much of a gift from the books with Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, the main forces of the offense out here, out of this game for the Edmonton Oilers. They are begging me to take Dallas, and I'm not going to bite. I'm going to look at the first period over 1.5 goals at -132. If I had to take a side, it would be the plus money on the Edmonton Oilers, but we don't have to take a side, you guys. I won't be shocked if they win this game. Give me the player props instead of a side. Mikko Rantanen for goal number 30 tonight at +185 for the Dallas Stars. I also think Jason Robinson has the ability to get goal number 30 as well. That's coming in at +210. Now, you can play around with the points here. Of course, I like Rantanen for a point. I like Rupe Hintz for the point, Wyatt Johnson and Jason Robinson, all for the point. And so I would kind of look at 2 of those, your favorite 2, and parlay them together. For me, it will be Mikko Rantanen and Jason Robinson, but you can't deny Wyatt Johnson and Rupe Hintz. On the other side, Ryan Nugent Hopkins here for the goal, coming in at +220 for the Edmonton Oilers. And I do think Evan Bouchard can get the assist tonight. So if you just want to look at Evan Bouchard and Ryan Nugent Hopkins for the point parlayed together, you're going to get great plus money. Last but not least, the Boston Bruins taking on the Anaheim Ducks. Swayman versus Dostal. Give me the Boston Bruins to break this horrendous losing streak that they've been on, coming in at +104. I do think you can see Casey Middlestat and David Pastrnak get those points on the board parlayed together, coming in at +117. You can also look, and I will be taking Pastrnak for goal number 35 tonight. 34 goals, 50 assists on the season. Morgan Geekie has point number 40 loading as well. So definitely someone you want to include in your point equations out there. Now, Troy Terry for goal number 20 tonight definitely is making my card. He has 19 goals, 32 assists for 51 points. So that is the recap, you guys. Should be a great day out there on the ice. Susan De La Cruz, it's good to see you here. Let's go. Let's make some freaking money for sure. Some players you think could get the points tonight, 1 or 2. Yeah, absolutely. Looking at the players that I really do have faith in, Mo, it's got to be Middlestat and Pasta here. I love Middlestat and Pasta to come out nice and strong for the Boston Bruins. I would look at them parlayed with their points at +117. I know it's not huge value, but I think it is a great way to go. I could see Pastrnak getting those 2+ points. He's looking to hit goal number 35. So I would look there. And I don't know how many times I say for sure. Let's see how many times I say for sure today. Maybe you guys can bet on it and we can see who can get it. I like Troy Terry as well, as you were saying, Chip. And then I do think it's Mikko Rantanen stepping up for the Dallas Stars tonight. So that is where I would go with those player points. Now let's quickly look. And then Timo Meier and Jasper Bratt, I really am liking some of these players for their points tonight. Connor Bedard as well. So, Mo, I know that's not the answer that you wanted, but I do think there is a lot of people you can surround tonight. My favorite being Middlestat and Pasta there for the Boston Bruins. So I am glad you love it. Let's make some freaking money. It's going to be a great day. Let's jump into that. Best of luck to you too, Rob. Let's jump into Jamie's question on tomorrow's matchup for the LA Kings versus the Colorado Avalanche. Now, we are seeing early lines for this one, 10 p.m. Eastern matchup between these two teams. We have the LA Kings coming in as a plus 136 favorite, Colorado, a large favorite at minus 164 here. This total sitting at 5.5. Automatically, the 5.5 give me that to the under. I do expect a defensive battle out there between these two teams. I think this is another one that you can look to go to overtime. The overtime coming in at plus 340. Now, I want to see if we have expected goaltending already listed for this matchup. So let me just pull it up here on my phone, you guys. It does look like they're expecting Darcy Kemper and Mackenzie Blackwood. So looking here at where I would go with this one, we know Colorado at home has been so solid out there, sitting third in the Central right now. I do think they have a strong presence out there, and they are so fast offensively, but I think the LA Kings are going to look to shut them down. Sitting second in the Pacific for the LA Kings out there. Look for the power play to be able to convert for the Colorado Avalanche. That is where I would take my players and take their points. Their power play does convert at 25.1%. And I know we've got a really strong kill at 82.1% here for the LA Kings, but I'm looking for that defensive lockdown. I do think this is a 2-1 style game determined in overtime. So the 5.5 to the under at plus 100 is the early look in the overtime bet at plus 340. It's going to be really interesting to see at the end of this game who is able to come out on top. Again, I think it's a 2-1 game. So if you think the LA Kings can win it 2-1, you're looking at plus 3,200 for the exact score. The last time these teams matched up, I believe Colorado won 4-2. Don't quote me on that. I have to go back and look at those, but it was like November, I think, the last time these teams matched up. So go and look that up. Let me know if that is right, you guys, if you're at your computer right now. But I think this is a 2-1 overtime win. So the LA Kings 2-1 overtime win is plus 3,200. And let's look at Colorado for the 2-1 overtime win is plus 2,700. So I think if you put a little bit, if you believe like I do, it's a 2-1 game, that you look at both of those. And I will be, now that we talk this one out, going in and betting the 2-1 win for both the Avs and the Kings. I think it's how it plays out. If Colorado scores, I do think it's on the power play. I think we've got an elite defensive matchup here that's going to make us some freaking money. So, I love this, Brian. You jumped on Pasta, anytime goal, Geeky and Mills, 1 point each at plus 450. I love it, Brian. Best of luck in all of your bets. You are so welcome. You guys, thank you, Rick. I'm glad that you are here each and every day. So let's make some freaking money. We'll be back tomorrow. Lots going on. And yeah, for Tuesday for goal number 20, how can we say no to him as well? So many players that I want to circle tonight. It's for sure. I'm going to say for sure, again, going to be a hot night out there on the ice. Let's bring that momentum of last night onto tonight's slate. You guys know we ran so long yesterday. I could have sat here and talked to you guys for like 2 hours. I missed you not doing a show on Sunday and Monday. So, and then having no interaction on Saturday. So you guys, let's make some money. It's going to be a hot day on the ice. Stay tuned for my Cup of Joe. Yesterday, what the heck happened to Jimmy Butler returning to Miami? The Miami Heat completely locked down the Golden State Warriors. Jimmy Butler just fell flat on his face, wasn't able to get anything done. He said he didn't care about returning to Miami. And, well, if he did care, he sure made a fool of himself last night versus the Heat as they dominated the Golden State Warriors without Steph Curry on the court. So today's Cup of Joe, we definitely need that bounce back. Also, check out the SportsGrid app. The Madden Quickie will be posted up there. And then also stay tuned to Game Time Decisions for my Sports Millions Pick'ems. It is in the NBA today. You definitely want to check out those higher and lowers for those Sport Millions picks. But you guys, let's make some freaking money. Yeah, Butler didn't take anything seriously. Of course, Jimmy Butler always cost me money. I love him, but he costs me money. So you guys, all the best and all your bets. We'll see you tomorrow. Hit so many times.